Hello everybody, good to see you again. Marcus van Aert here, Authentic Business Communication. And I'm coming to you today with a delivery on so-called curveball questions. You will remember that in the last delivery I spoke to you about an ideal interview mindset. But today I want to start getting into specific questions. And the first tough curveball question, as I call them, is tell me about yourself. You will notice on the slide that I'm showing now that these curveball questions, I clustered them together in a group because they are questions where the interviewer is really trying to solicit your particular point of view on certain elements. There are no right or wrong answers. What they are looking for is to get your perspective, but your challenge is obviously how are you going to unpack those ideas crisply and concisely and compellingly. So tell me about yourself is an example of a question that can be unpacked in threes. If you've not viewed lessons 4.1 till 4.4, please go back to them because I'm talking about unpacking dense and complex ideas compellingly using one of these four techniques that you see in front of you, namely the seesaw, threes, consecutive steps, or the bigger picture versus detail. So in the case of tell me about yourself, this is a complex idea, right? There's a lot you can say about yourself. So I'm using the threes technique as a contracting device. So I'm taking a big topic and I'm condensing it down into three main points. I think it is important to mention before I get into this that people ask me a lot, how much time can I use in an actual formal interview for telling about myself? And according to my own experience and also the feedback that I'm getting from my clients in terms of how their self-introductions landed with employers, I typically see that about 2 to 2.5 minutes is probably ideal in a formal interview. This is not an elevator pitch. An elevator pitch is much shorter, and we'll discuss that later on. But this is a formal self-introduction. You don't want to overdo it, but you also don't want to underserve what you're busy with. So let's look at how we are going to use threes to tell about ourselves. First of all, as you can see on the slide, we want to start with a framing statement, something to get your mouth moving, just to get into the discussion, right? And we will be using a framing statement. I will give you a verbatim example in just a few minutes. Then we want to move to number one of the three, your skills, where you want to talk about three things, roughly speaking: formal background, certifications or special training, and your area of specialty or your technical strengths. This is really important, the area of specialty or technical strengths, because Canada tends to be a highly specialized market, right? And you would be well served to make sure that your interviewer knows that you're not looking for a job, but that you're looking for this job, this very one that you're sitting here in the interview for. So talking about your area of your preferred area of specialty and your technical strengths that are commensurate with that area of specialty would be a really good thing. Having discussed the first cluster of information, you can then move over to experience, which is the second cluster. An experience deals with the sectors that you've been involved in, the organizations that you've worked with, and the roles or role that you held most recently or most relevantly. So people ask me often, should I recite my entire experience. I've worked for 15 years. And I say to them, no, of course not. You don't have time for that. Secondly, it's already on your resume. But your opportunity here is to highlight the most recent and most relevant experience that you feel that resonate with the role that you're applying for, right? So the interviewer has probably read your resume, but you're not sure that they've read your resume with attention to the elements that you would like them to pay attention to. So what you want to do here is highlight what you think resonates with the job that you're applying for. And I'll give you a verbatim example of that. And now that you have spoken about your skills and experience, you come to the really important part, and that is, what am I here to potentially offer? And I call that a value proposition. And what I mean by a value proposition is you want to give an idea of the kinds of people, other professionals that you're capable of working with, stakeholders that you can help, serve, and provide value to. Secondly, you want to talk about how people describe you as a co-worker or as somebody who serves clients or whatever your specific area of expertise is. And then finally, you want to talk about, should you hire me? Should you select me and I'm the lucky winner of this opportunity, what is the daily value that I hope to bring your organization? So already I can imagine in your mind you go, wow, this is a mouthful, and yes, it is. But we're going to keep it concise. We're going to pick our battles, and we're going to get a statement like this out in about 2 minutes. So let's have a look at what this looks like. First of all, I'm going to start with a framing statement. And the framing statement would be something like that, like this. Sarah, first of all, thanks for this opportunity. I've been looking forward to meeting you, and if you would allow me, I'll provide some skill set and career highlights and then talk about how I might bring value to this organization, should you consider my candidacy. Right, so that is a nice entry, it's a nice opener. You don't need to think yourself to death to get that out, but your mouth is moving and you're sounding professional and confident, right? Now I'm going to start with my skill set. And I would say, as my resume reflects, my formal background is in, and name the formal background. Specifically relevant to this position though, I'm certified in X, Y, and Z, and name those certifications or special training that you've participated in. Furthermore, I'm currently attending training in X, Y, Z, right? I'm a constant learner, and I believe in continuous self-development. So you're already messaging about yourself, who you are, and how you approach your knowledge base as a professional. I have a particular passion for, and then you name the specialty that you're applying for. And my main focus right now is to join an organization where I can use these skills to my fullest. Right, so the skills is dealt with. It shouldn't take you more than about 30 seconds to whip this off. You can keep it tight, keep it high level. You don't want to rehash your resume, but you want to pick things out to show natural, immediate matches between the kind of skill set that they're looking for and the kind of focus that they're hoping for. Now we can move on to experience. And I might make a bridging statement. I might say something like, to give you some career highlights. First of all, my career consists of experience in sectors such as A and B over the past 10 years. Maybe you have more than one sector that you've participated in. If you only have one, obviously, just state that one. During the past X years, I've worked for, and then you can name your selection of organizations. I would say focus on recent and relevant, right? And by the way, folks, if your organization is not that you worked for is not well known in Canada, do some research and find an organization here in Canada that is similar to what you've worked for. So you can say, back in my country of origin, I worked for an organization called XYZ, and they're very similar to Home Depot here in Canada, for argument's sake. And then you go on, there I held the role of X with responsibilities for, and you outline the tasks, the teams, and the initiatives briefly. This, another 30 to 40 seconds. Really high level. I don't want you to rush. I don't want you to talk faster. You make sure that you get through your information by ensuring that you don't overtalk tiny details. This is purely an overview of yourself, not a detailed story about yourself yet. Right, now we're getting to the juicy bit, and that is the value proposition. I want to leave my interviewer with this final thought. I want them to think of me in terms of how I would function in their teams and organizations. I also want to project that I'm a value-driven individual. So I do a bridging statement and I say, finally, I would like to talk about the natural fit I see between my experience and the demands this role as laid out in your job posting. This implies that you have read that job posting with great care, of course, right? So, firstly, I'm highly experienced working with stakeholders, such as A, B, and C. And here you can break out stakeholders in terms of the kinds of verticals or specialties that you've collaborated with in the past. And that is also perhaps mentioned on the job posting itself. And my previous roles expose me to the needs of departments and functional units such as A, B, and C. Secondly, my managers, colleagues, and clients would describe me as, and now you can pick, because as you can see on the slide that I'm showing now, remember the high value traits that you want to project? The slide that we used in the previous session? This is going to be your slide that you continually refer back to, because these traits we know are valuable. So pick your flavor. They describe me as approachable, a strong collaborator, as focused, empathetic, customer-oriented, resourceful, tenacious, a constant learner, organized, etc. Not all of them, obviously. Pick your battles. Make sure that what you pick is a good match with what the job description demands. And then you're gonna land the plane with your final statement. Lastly, if I'm selected, I hope to bring daily value to your organization in the form of. Now, this is important. You need to discern what it is in the most tangible terms that your specialty brings to an organization. For myself, say as a coach and a facilitator, I know that the value that I ought to bring is confidence and competence in my learners, right? So that is where my role lands in tangible terms. Your role might land in tangible terms in profitability or customer satisfaction or efficiencies within teams, but you've got to articulate specifically what it is that you hope to bring as a daily mandate on a daily basis. So folks, I hope that this made sense for you. This is the Tell Me About Yourself. Please go over it again, of course, as much as you like. Please use the templates that I showed on the slides. You can use these templates that I've written out for you verbatim. And what you can do is then obviously personalize it with your own information. I would strongly suggest to you, and I'll probably do this over and over as we go on with specific interview questions. Folks, you can do no better for yourself than actually write your answers out. Don't type it even. Take a pad of paper and a pen or a pencil and write your answers out. You would be stunned at how writing crystallizes your thoughts. If you go into a meeting, into an interview with a vague concept of what you want to say, you will discover that the what is all in place, but the how is not in place. And it is how we want to say things that gets us stuck in conversation. So write it out for yourself. It crystallizes your thoughts. It gets your words well organized, and it helps you to not over talk. Please, if you enjoyed this, like and subscribe. If you have further questions about Tell Me About Yourself, write them down in the comments and I will respond to that. We're going to be spending quite a lot of time in the subsequent videos now on curveball questions such as Tell Me About Yourself, and I am going to take you through all of them with proposed approaches, always using unpacking techniques. I thank you for watching my channel, and please come back, and I hope to see you soon again. Thanks. Goodbye.